Now, two British men have driven to Timbuktu in a truck fuelled by recycled chocolate. Sound a bit strange? Well, it's absolutely true.
If Willy Wonka made cars, they'd look like this. The world's first ever chocolate-powered vehicles. Bars and bars of it converted into biodiesel.
It is crazy to think that this was once chocolate bars, but it's really an interesting project in looking at how we can make biofuels viable and how we can actually make them from all sorts of products. It's not just chocolate that we can make it from. Anything that's got an oil in it can be reused and turned into biodiesel.
I decided to see if it was possible to continue doing what I love, which was travelling and exploring, but doing it in a sustainable way. So this is the chocolate-powered lorry that I told you about, and the chocolate fuel here in the IBCs at the front is actually 2,000 litres of biodiesel made from waste cocoa butter, which sounds like a bit of a sort of a shoehorn. Why would you actually do that? Well, the factory that we got that produces 4,000 tonnes of waste cocoa butter a year, which currently goes to landfill, and that would be enough to produce 2 million litres of biofuel. Which is no small amount. That's just from one factory, admittedly quite a large factory.
Is it edible, drinkable?
A few times I was siphoning it from one container to the other and sucking it through the pipe. I got a mouthful of it. Actually, it's not that bad. I mean, you wouldn't want to have a pint of it, but it's okay.
AJ wants a pint of it.
Now, either you got caught short coming into the studio and needed a wee, or this is it. Now, I was expecting, as you would...
Proper chocolate?
Yeah, like a bar of chocolate.
Let's get serious for a minute. This was a one-off journey. Are you convinced really that this is something that all of us could be doing before long?
Well, I don't think we're all going to be driving around on chocolate, but it does highlight the fact there's a number of really interesting technologies out there, and biofuels has had a bit of a bad reputation over the last year or so, but there are good biofuels out there as well, and again, there's a lot of really interesting technologies, not just with recycling rubbish, but also looking at second-generation crops, things like algae that have a very high oil yield.
Mission accomplished for Andy Pagg and his partners, who've managed to cross Europe in 9 days in cars powered by waste from chip fryers.
We've proved that we can travel a long distance using biofuels, but can we find sustainable fuels during our journey rather than setting off with it all from the start? Because that opens up a whole realm of possibilities and practicalities. So the idea were all these cars, we gathered at the Ace Cafe in London and we set off to drive from London to Athens, powered entirely by waste vegetable oil that teams had to scavenge from restaurants and burger bars on the route. So it's really about their ability to sweet talk kebab shop owners into giving them their rubbish, their waste oil.
Haben Sie altes Speiseöl vor uns?
Na dann, auf zum ersten Etappenziel. Auf nach München.
When I first put vegetable oil in the car, I was really worried. I was thinking, oh my God, is it going to work? Is it going to blow the car up? I've now done over, I think, about 6,000 miles on vegetable oil. I've had absolutely no ill effects at all.
A major race has just come to a close in Athens, Greece. But what makes this trip different from most is that not a single penny was spent on fuel. Let's see how they did it.
I'm really confident that it's a viable alternative. In terms of my holidays from now on, in fact from my driving life from now on, I really can't see why I'd ever want to buy any fossil fuel again. So hopefully that will encourage people to give it a go.
The team headed off to join colleagues carrying a machine to purify the oil. This trip has been such a success that next year they're planning to circumnavigate the globe using aeroplanes whose aviation fuel will be made from plastic bags. Malcolm Brabant, BBC News, northwestern Greece.